everyone, I am Kanakalakshmi working as faculty of English in Sanjeev College of Arts and Sciences. Welcome to the online classes of CSS3. Today I would like to share with you some very important topics from last unit, resume and curriculum vitae from first lesson and cover letter from second lesson. Let us start with resume and curriculum vitae. Well, after your graduation, you may want to apply for a job, and while reading job postings, you may notice that some employers ask for a resume and others may ask for a CV. Well, both are used in job applications, and these two documents have a few distinct differences. If you want to apply for both academic as well as industry positions, you will need to prepare both a resume and a curriculum vitae, because most organizations require a curriculum vitae or a resume with the application form. A CV or a resume is the first tool to introduce yourself and your capabilities. Hence, you need to be extra careful while preparing your curriculum vitae or a resume. Before we learn how to prepare a curriculum vitae or resume, let us know the differences between the curriculum vitae and a resume. A curriculum vitae is a Latin phrase which means the course of one's life. The word resume is borrowed from a French which means summary. A CV is longer than a resume. A resume is usually only a page or may extended to 2 pages length, while a CV can be extended up to 2 to 3 pages. A resume highlights your skills and professional experience, while a CV highlights your academic achievements. A resume is preferred when experienced people apply for specific positions, and whereas a CV is preferred for fresh graduates and mostly for academic positions. Let us move on to resume. A resume is a formal document that summarizes a person's career, background and skills. The word resume is borrowed from French, which means to sum up. The purpose of a resume is to provide recruiters with a brief overview of the candidate's work history. A good resume should be targeted at a specific job and 1 to 2 pages long. Since your future career depends on the quality of your resume, it is important to know the structure. Parts of a resume. Number 1, personal information. You have to write your contact details here, like your name, address for correspondence, contact number, email ID. Next, career objective. If you have previous work experience, then you have to include 1 or 2 sentences explaining who you are and why you are qualified for the job. If you don't have any work experience, then if you are a fresh graduate, then mention about your job aspiration which reflects the nature of your dream job and organization. Like a creative position to execute projects successfully in a reputed organization, or seeking a position that utilizes my skills in counseling, research, etc. Like looking to apply for the role of dash position at dash organization, etc. Next, work experience. In this, you should highlight all of your professional experience in each position. But remember, while write your professional history in reverse chronological order. I mean, start with the most recent job to details of least jobs, etc. Make sure to include your employer's name and location, your job title and years of employment. Include bullet points that explain your responsibilities and achievements during your time there. Next, education. Education, you have to, if you don't have any work experience, then place it after career objective with recent qualification first, like if you are a PG graduate, then enter the details of your master's degree with with the course, duration, university and GPA. Next, projects. If you are a fresh graduate and if you don't have any work experience if you are a fresh graduate, then you have to enter the projects heading there. List out the projects you undertook in your graduation, as it highlights your leadership skills, ability to take initiative and project management expertise. Next, write 4 sentences about the project, like name of the project, name of the company, duration and the technologies used in the project. If you are already experienced, then you can include the projects from your previous job, like created and managed the budget and set deadlines and project milestones for the teams. Next, heading skills. In this include both soft and hard skills you have that are related to the job. Soft skills are skills that help you to facilitate positive relationships, and hard skills are technical skills that you have learned through your education or through your previous job. Soft skills are like problem solving, conflict resolution, leadership and delegating skills. Hard skills are like proofreading, knowledge in C language, web designing, and proficiency in coding languages, word processing, etc. Next, last one, references. Here you have to include names of 2 persons who knows you well and can endorse your character, like your teacher, professor from academics, and your superior or employer from your previous job. Include their name, job title, contact number, organization, etc. Here you should not write any of your family members' names. Next, sample resume. Sample resume for the post of lecturer. First you have to enter the contact details here, name, address for correspondence, contact number, email ID. After that, career objective. After that, if you are an experienced person, then you have to enter the details of work experience. And after that, education in reverse chronological order. That means recent qualification first. After that, project, and after that, highlight your skills. And last section, references. Mention any 2 persons' names here with their contact numbers and job titles. And let us move on to curriculum vitae. Like a resume, a curriculum vitae also provides information of one's experience and skills, but in a detailed structure. Curriculum vitae is a Latin phrase which means the course of one's life. CV provides employers with a highly detailed account of your professional and educational history. So formatting your CV is necessary to make your document clear, proficient, professional and easy to read. Employers might ask you to send a CV instead of a resume who wishes to use your education, skills and experience to advance their business. So CVs are widely used by graduate students and others in academia. The average length of a CV should be around 2 to 3 pages. Well, the length of your CV depends upon your level and your career history. An executive's CV will no doubt be much longer than that of a recent graduate. Next, parts of curriculum vitae. First part is contact details. Here you have to enter your name, address for correspondence, contact number, email ID, so that any interested employer can contact you easily. After that, objective. An objective gives brief details about the type of work and role you would like and the industry you want to work in. Experience. Enter your work experience in reverse chronological order. That means with the recent job first. After that, education. Here also you have to enter the educational qualifications in reverse chronological order. If you are a fresh graduate, then you have to enter some details about the projects. So that means you have to highlight them so that the interviewer can have a chance to ask you questions about your projects. Next, academic achievements. You can include awards, prizes, scholarships at school, college or university level. Next, workshops or seminars. Mention the training and seminars you attended and enter the details of the event like the event's name, date and location. Next, publications. List out any particulars, list out the particulars of any publications you have written. Include all bibliographic information, reference books. Next, research. List out any research experience you have. Next, skills. List out any hard skills or soft skills you have. Both soft and hard skills like your proficiency level, basic or advanced or expertise in technical skills or soft skills. Next, voluntary work. List your most recent work and volunteer experience first, like membership in any club or organization or charity, etc. Next, personal profile. Here you have to enter all the details, including your father's name, his occupation, your date of birth, nationality, marital status, languages known, interests and hobbies and references. In hobbies you can write reading, playing a musical instrument, etc. Including hobbies and interests gives the interviewer a more clear picture about you. And in references include two persons' names with their job titles, contact numbers, and the organization they are working, etc. Here is a sample curriculum vitae for a lecturer post. First, enter the details, enter your contact details here, like name, address for correspondence, contact number, email ID, and after that objective. After that, work experience. If you don't, after that, education and skills, achievements, publication, if you don't have any work experience, then you have to enter the project details. After that, personal profile, in area of interest you can write traveling and voluntary work. Well, this is the sample CV. So dear students, a CV is an opportunity to promote yourself, to make it easy for the employer to pick up your CV and quickly read about your credentials. Due to the high volume of applications they receive, a recruiter will generally spend only 20 seconds in reviewing each CV. So it's important to get it right. You just follow the above structure to present the information in a clear way. And let us move on to the second lesson from last unit, cover letter. Well, after you finish writing your CV or resume, you should send it along with a cover letter. A cover letter is a letter which accompanies the CV or resume. Well, what is a cover letter and what is the need of a cover letter? A well-crafted cover letter is essential for any job you apply for. It informs the recruiter that you are aware of their needs and you have the required skills and knowledge. A cover letter informs the recruiter that you are interested in working with them. A cover letter adds focus to your resume or CV. Your cover letter should be used to expand on your past achievements and explain why you think you would be the right candidate for the job. A cover letter should not just repeat your resume or CV, but should inform the recruiter of the job. Should inform the recruiter why the job is attractive to you, and why you want to work for that company. Parts of cover letter. First part, contact details. Like in resume and CV, you have to enter your contact information here, like name, and address for correspondence, and a contact number and email ID. After that, date. Next, third one is to address the employer with their job title, like the personal manager or HRD manager, company name, locality and town or city. Next, greeting. Here you have to write like dear sir or respected sir. After that, body. It is common to all cover letters. And in the opening paragraph, tell about the position you seek, how you learned about the position. The middle paragraph gives a summary of your skills that make you qualified for the position and your knowledge about the company. And the last para tells about the person, about your availability or request for a response for the application. Finally, thank the person to whom you are writing for his time and consideration of your application. After that, subscription. Here you have to write yours sincerely or yours truly. And after that, signature. Here we are presenting a sample cover letter. Enter the contact information first. After that, date. Next, to address. After that, salutation, that is greeting. After that, body. And the opening paragraph is common to all cover letters, like I would like to apply for the post of software professional in your company as I have the required and desired qualification for the post. Next, second para, highlight your skills here. And the third para, that is last para. Subscription, yours sincerely or yours truly, and signature. So dear students, a cover letter is one-page document that you submit as part of your job application. Its purpose is to introduce you and briefly summarize your professional background. A good cover letter can spark the HR manager's interest and get them read your resume or CV. Successful cover letters prove that you are qualified for the job by giving information that demonstrates your skills and knowledge. With this, we have come to the end of the semester syllabus, so just go through the video lectures thoroughly, and if you have any doubts, make a note of it and approach me in my upcoming online classes. Thank you. Thanks for the job.